You won't believe what I saw that night. An homeowners association Karen. Yes, that kind of Karen. Barged into a charity gala like she owned the place. By the end of the night, she was screeching on the floor while security dragged her heels across the marble tiles. I'll take you back to how it started. Because honestly, if you blink, you'd think it was a scripted Netflix drama. It was a Saturday evening. Downtown. The charity gala was supposed to be a big deal. Raising funds for local kids with disabilities. Picture it. Chandeliers glinting. Violins humming. Guests in gowns and tuxedos. Champagne flutes clinking. I had been invited through a friend who sponsored the event, and I was standing near the entrance, just soaking in the atmosphere. And then, bam, the front doors flew open. Karen stormed in like she was entering a battlefield. No ticket. No invitation. Just this entitled smirk plastered across her face and a voice that carried like a fire alarm. Excuse me. Who rolled out this carpet? This is MY Neighborhood's Homeowners Association carpet. I paid for this with my dues. I swear. The room froze. People glanced at each other. Whispers rippling through the line of guests waiting to check in. Even the violinist missed a note. I let out a quiet laugh under my breath. It was absurd. A red carpet at a gala. Belonging to the Homeowners Association. Come on. But she wasn't joking. Karen marched right onto the carpet, yanking at it like she was rolling up her living room rug. The poor usher tried to stop her, holding up a hand. Voice trembling. Ma'am, please. This is property of the venue. Oh no. Don't you dare. Karen snapped, waving her hand in his face like he was some bug. This is Homeowners Association property. This is MY property. And you're trespassing on it. The irony. She was the trespasser. I caught the eye of another guest. A retired judge. Of all people. And he just shook his head, muttering, "Not tonight. Not here." But Karen didn't care. She bent down, gripping the edge of the red carpet and started pulling with all her might. Guests in gowns stumbled. A waiter carrying a tray of champagne tripped. Flutes shattering in a cascade of glass and bubbles. Gasps filled the air. And then, her voice. That shrill tone every neighborhood knows too well. I told you people. You don't use Homeowners Association property without my approval. I'll shut this whole thing down if I have to. By now, the gala organizer rushed over. Heels clacking on marble. She looked elegant but furious. The kind of fury that simmers instead of screams. Ma'am, you are disrupting a charity event. You need to leave immediately. Karen laughed. Actually laughed. Leave. Oh, sweetheart. I run this block. I've sent letters to every single house around here. I own this street and therefore. She gestured like some queen giving orders. This carpet is mine. I swear. It was almost comical. Except it wasn't. Because people had paid hundreds, even thousands, to attend. The donors were frowning. Some were already whispering about pulling support. And you could feel the tension. That violinist had stopped playing altogether. Bow hanging midair. Security was called. 2 guards. Big guys in black suits with earpieces. Approached. The crowd parted. Murmuring. You could hear the whispers. Who is she? What is she doing? Karen puffed up like a blowfish. Finally. The police. Arrest them for theft. Arrest the gala for stealing Homeowners Association property. The guard calmly replied. Ma'am, we're security, not police. And we need you to let go of the carpet and exit the venue. She screeched. I will not. She clung to that carpet like it was her lifeline. Her knuckles white, veins straining on her forehead. And here's where it got even crazier. She pulled out her phone. You know the kind. With a glittery case and a cracked screen protector. And dialed 911. In front of everyone. Yes. Hello. Police. I'm at the downtown gala. These criminals are stealing my homeowners association carpet. I'm the president. I demand an officer right now. Yes. It's theft. Yes. They're violent. Her voice was echoing, shrill enough to bounce off the chandeliers. People covered their mouths in disbelief. A woman whispered behind me, "She's out of her mind." Another guy muttered, "This is better than Netflix." And then the twist. The Gala's MC, who had been nervously waiting to start, stepped forward. Guess what? He was a detective, retired, well known in the city. He raised his badge slightly, voice cool but cutting. "Lady, you just committed false reporting in front of 200 witnesses. That's a crime." The silence afterward was heavy. Karen blinked. She wasn't expecting that. But she tried again, stammering. "And no, this is my carpet. You don't understand. They all know. The homeowners association knows." "Ma'am," the MC cut her off. "You're trespassing at a private charity event. If you don't leave voluntarily, these guards will escort you out." And oh, did they? Karen screamed, like a toddler being denied candy. Her voice cracked, echoing across the hall. "You can't do this. I'm important. I'll sue every single one of you. I'll bankrupt this gala." But the guards had her under the arms, lifting her off the ground as she kicked wildly. Her heels clacked against the marble. Her dress bunched up and the red carpet she had fought so hard for unraveled dramatically behind her. Guests clapped. Some laughed. A few even took out their phones. Because let's be honest, in this day and age, no meltdown goes undocumented. And me, I just stood there, shaking my head, whispering, "Poetic justice." But the night wasn't over. Oh no. About 30 minutes later, once the gala had resumed, word spread like wildfire. Someone had checked homeowners association records. Guess what? Karen had been removed as homeowners association president months ago. She wasn't even on the board anymore. She had no authority, no power, nothing. She was just clinging to a title she didn't have. The twist stung harder than her shrieking exit. She had embarrassed herself, destroyed her reputation, and for what? A carpet that wasn't hers, at an event that wasn't hers, in a role she no longer held. By the time I left that night, the clip was already circulating online. HOA Karen versus the Gala. Hundreds of shares. Memes being made before dessert was even served. And the bitter cherry on top. Her actual homeowners association released a statement the next day. "We do not endorse or condone the actions of Ms. Karen. She no longer represents our association. She lost her fake power and her social standing in one brutal swoop." I can still hear her scream when security dragged her across the floor, her voice bouncing off marble and chandeliers. Sometimes justice doesn't come in courtrooms. Sometimes it comes on red carpets. Thanks for listening, and don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel for more unbelievable but true homeowners association drama. You ever come back from a long road trip, dreaming of your own bed, only to find strangers living in your house like they own the damn place? Yeah, that happened. Except it wasn't just any strangers, it was the Karen sisters. And one of them was inside my locked rental cabin, flipping pancakes like it was Sunday brunch at Grandma's. I swear, I stood there in shock for a full 10 seconds, keys in hand, mouth hanging open. The scent of maple syrup hit me first. Then came the hiss of bacon on cast iron and the soft hum of some god-awful easy listening station playing from my kitchen speaker. My speaker. The same one I had tucked away in a drawer before I left. Let me back up a sec. I own a quiet little A-frame cabin up by Lake Ironbell, upstate Michigan. Nothing fancy, just pinewood walls, a wraparound porch, and a view that heals your soul. I rent it out now and then to hikers or couples looking to unplug. But this last stretch, I blocked out the calendar for a whole month. It was supposed to be mine. Just me, the trees, and the damn silence I'd been craving since January. Except silence wasn't what I found when I pulled up that gravel drive. I knew something was off the moment I saw the car, a red Subaru Outback, parked crooked, nosing into the hydrangeas like it had tried to parallel park in a corn maze. Florida plates, stickers for astrology, iced coffee, and I kid you not, one that read, "Don't talk to me or my crystals." That should have been my first warning. I stepped up onto the porch and immediately spotted muddy footprints. 2 sets, smallish, one with a heel. The other looked like it came straight out of a Target clearance bin. My heart dropped. Did I forget to lock up? No. I knew I double-locked that door and set the smart deadbolt from my phone. Except now the lock was scratched, like someone jammed it with a key that didn't fit and kept twisting until it gave way. I pushed open the door. It creaked slowly, dramatically, like it knew something stupid was waiting on the other side. And there she was, a woman in her mid-30s, frizzy blonde bun, leggings with flamingos on them, and a live laugh love, hoodie 3 sizes too small. She was humming, as if she was in her own kitchen. She turned, saw me, froze. Then I kid you not, she smiled and said, "Oh, you must be the handyman." I blinked. "Excuse me? The faucet's been dripping, like, super annoyingly. Can you look at it before my sister gets back with the oat milk?" There was a long silence. I think the sound of sizzling bacon filled it for both of us. I stepped in, my jaw working like I was chewing a wasp. "This is my cabin." She laughed, actually laughed, and waved a spatula like a wand. "Oh no, sweetie. This was booked through the neighborhood sharing program. We're part of the HOA's eco-retreat pilot." The what now? Let me be crystal clear. This cabin is outside any HOA jurisdiction. I bought it because of that. No board meetings. No Karen surveillance. Just trees, peace, and Wi-Fi that barely works. So I said, "I didn't approve any program. This cabin is not part of an HOA. You are trespassing." Her eyes narrowed. The smile faded. And then, like a damn sitcom, the front door flew open and in walked another Karen. Taller. Redhead. Tighter leggings. Same entitled energy. She stopped cold when she saw me. Then scoffed. "Who the hell are you? I own this place." "No, you don't. Brittany told me she got permission from the HOA. We're conducting a spiritual cleanse." A spiritual, oh my God. I laughed. Just one single, tired laugh. The kind that sounds like it might turn into a scream if you push it. I reached for my phone. That's when the redhead lunged for me. No joke. She grabbed my wrist hard and yelled, "You can't call anyone. You're violating our energy cycle." I yanked my arm free and backed up, slamming into the coffee table. My knee caught the corner and pain shot through my leg. The blonde, Brittany, was still holding the spatula like she might go full hibachi chef on me. "Get out," I said, breathing hard now. "Get out. You're making this hostile," the redhead snapped. "You agreed to this program by owning property within the reflective boundary." What in the New Age HOA nonsense was she even talking about? I managed to hit the SOS call shortcut on my phone. Sheriff's dispatch answered fast. I told them 2 women had broken into my property, were refusing to leave, and had possibly damaged the lock. And here's the kicker: as I was still talking to dispatch, Brittany ran to the back door and locked it, like I was the intruder. I told the operator, "They just locked me in my own house." 15 minutes later, I heard tires crunching up the gravel. Sheriff's deputy walked in, an older guy with a badge that had seen too many winters. He raised one brow at the scene. Me, red-faced and panting, 2 women standing by the stove like they were about to offer him pancakes. "Ladies," he said, sighing, "tell me this is a misunderstanding." "Oh, thank God you're here," Brittany cried. "This man broke in and started yelling at us. He claims he owns this cabin." The deputy turned to me. I pulled out my license, my property deed copy, even showed the cabin's smart lock logs. He nodded slowly, then asked the Karens if they had any documents. They pulled out a flyer. A freaking flyer printed on colored paper, with clip art and a made-up name, Community Eco Refuge Sharing Network. There wasn't even an address. He asked again, "So you didn't have a lease? Any contract?" They both just blinked. Then Brittany said, "We don't believe in paperwork. It's part of capitalism's trauma." That was it. The deputy radioed for backup. 20 minutes later, both were in cuffs, yelling about spiritual oppression and sovereign citizen housing laws. Turns out, They'd been squatting at cabins up and down the lake for weeks, crashing wherever the owners were gone, breaking in, claiming HOA nonsense, and energy cycling each property. One old man down the road thought he was going senile when he saw a dream catcher hanging in his den. As they were hauled off, Brittany yelled over her shoulder, "You can't arrest energy. You'll regret this." I just leaned against my porch railing, watching her be stuffed into the back seat of a cruiser, and muttered, "Guess the energy's doing hard time now. So you'd think that would be the end of it, right?" Except 3 days later, I got a call from a lawyer. "Mr. Jensen?" the voice said, all nasal and clipped like he'd never tasted a real blueberry in his life. "I represent the Sterling sisters. My clients allege they had verbal permission to reside in your cabin." I blinked so hard I swear it rearranged my eyebrows. He continued, "They're pursuing civil damages for emotional distress. They claim you created a hostile environment and escalated the situation in a way that violated their spiritual practices." "Sir," I said, trying not to burst out laughing. "They broke in, made breakfast, assaulted me, and refused to leave. I didn't escalate anything except the 911 call." There was a long silence. Then the lawyer side actually sighed. "Look, between you and me, I don't even know what the hell they're talking about. But they've filed paperwork. Expect a summons." Turns out these two weren't just entitled, they were experienced. This was their 6th cabin stunt in 2 states. They'd racked up minor trespassing and fraud charges, but this time they picked the wrong guy. Because the deputy, the one who cuffed him, his brother was the DA. And once the full story got out and I handed over the cabin's surveillance footage, which Brittany clearly didn't notice mounted in the rafters, the case turned fast. The charges stuck. Not just trespassing, breaking and entering, assault, fraudulent misrepresentation. And because the Sterling sisters had a long enough history of spiritual homesteading, the judge didn't go light. Sentence: 90 days in county lockup, plus mandatory psych eval and restitution. They had to pay for the damage to the lock, the cleaning, and the cherry on top, my new doorbell cam, which I installed the next morning. And just when I thought the whole circus was behind me, I got a package in the mail. No return address. Inside was a little crystal wrapped in tissue paper. Note said, "Your aura is blocked. Free yourself. B." I chuckled, then tossed it straight in the wood stove. The flame flared blue for half a second, like even the fire had something to say about their nonsense. That night, I sat on my porch with a cold drink, watching the lake shimmer under moonlight. No music, no humming, no bacon, just quiet, real quiet. And I finally let out the breath I'd been holding since the moment I saw that damn Subaru. So yeah, if you ever see a flyer for the Eco Refuge Network, do yourself a favor, run the other way, or better yet, call your sheriff and set up a camera. Because Karen energy doesn't knock. It barges in, burns your sage, and fries eggs on your favorite pan like it's doing you a favor. If you enjoyed this madness, hit that subscribe button and drop a comment. What would you have done if you found 2 Karens flipping pancakes in your locked cabin? She accused my wife of endangering children because she taught firearm safety. That's how it started. But by the time it ended, one of the Karen sisters was sobbing in handcuffs, charged with perjury, and the other? She ran straight into federal court without realizing the door locked behind her. I mean, how do you even prepare for that kind of crazy? Let me back up a sec. So my wife, Elena, is a certified instructor. Firearm safety, situational awareness, de-escalation tactics, the kind of stuff that saves lives, especially for women. She teaches from a converted barn on our private land just outside Charleston. Nothing tactical, nothing illegal, nothing flashy, just pure education. No ammo, no live fire. Mostly she trains teachers, nurses, single moms, people who've been through real trauma. It's empowerment, not paranoia. But then the McCarthy sisters moved in across the pasture, Donna and her older sister Karen. Yes, actually her name. Blonde curls, matching tracksuits, driving matching Range Rovers, and a matching superiority complex the size of Texas. They joined the HOA board within 48 hours of closing on their home, and suddenly my wife's peaceful little training space became their #1 priority. We're deeply concerned about the proximity of weaponry to children, Karen told us at the first HOA meeting they hijacked. Her voice was syrupy and sharp at the same time, like poison in a southern drawl. "It just seems Unsafe. My wife blinked slowly. We're not in the HOA and I don't teach kids.
Donna sniffed.
But children live near here. It's traumatizing. We're filing an injunction. I actually laughed. You're filing what now? And they did. These two maniacs filed a civil complaint with the city claiming my wife was endangering minors, violating zoning laws, and me, personal favorite, spreading fear-based ideology. They served it themselves. On a Sunday, in matching blazers. We weren't worried. I mean, the whole thing was laughable. Elena's been background checked by more agencies than I can count. She's trained law enforcement officers. Her curriculum is recognized by 3 national organizations. Still, we called our lawyer, filed a counter notice, and assumed that'd be the end of it. But then, something didn't sit right. Our lawyer pulled up their complaint and frowned. This affidavit includes sworn testimony from 5 individuals who say they heard live fire from the barn, that Elena yelled at children, that she stores combat weapons in a non-locked shed. My stomach dropped. None of that ever happened. They lied under oath? I asked. He nodded. Worse, they notarized the statement. That's perjury. Felony perjury. And just like that, the game changed. Elena's calm demeanor vanished. She pulled out her old binder from her days as a civilian consultant for the DOJ. If they want to fabricate claims, she said, then I want the judge to hear every damn second of what really happens here. We set up every camera, pulled footage from every class, even tracked attendance logs going back 2 years. Meanwhile, our lawyer subpoenaed the other signatories on the McCarthy sisters' sworn complaint. 4 backed out immediately. But the 5th, though, bless her, was their cousin Marcia, who didn't know she was listed at all. Twist number 1. Marcia hadn't signed anything. Halfway through a deposition, she slammed her coffee down and said, "Those witches used my name again? I'm calling my own lawyer." That's when we knew the Karen sisters had just nuked their own credibility. And the fallout was coming. 3 days later, we walked into the Charleston County Courthouse with nothing but receipts, and I mean that literally and metaphorically. Our lawyer wheeled in a dolly stacked with labeled evidence binders. Elena had hand-tabbed every single entry. Attendance logs, class footage, email confirmations, even the permits for the gravel on our driveway. She was calm, collected, almost too calm. That's when I realized she wanted this trial. She was going to dismantle them one lie at a time. And Karen? Oh, she showed up like she was walking the Met Gala carpet, white pencil skirt, oversized sunglasses indoors, and a pearl brooch that looked like it cost more than my truck. Donna trailed behind her like a backup singer with stage fright. The moment Judge Watkins entered, I saw a twitch in Karen's cheek. It was the twitch of someone who'd never faced a consequence in her entire iced coffee and gossip life. First witness? Marcia. She walked in like a storm cloud, purse slung over one shoulder, nerves visible, but she didn't flinch when sworn in. "Miss McCarthy," our lawyer asked her gently, "did you sign the sworn affidavit included in Exhibit A?" "No," she said without hesitation. "I didn't even read it. I told Karen I wasn't comfortable getting involved." "Did you give them permission to use your name?" She shook her head. "They told me it was just a letter for the neighborhood board. I had no idea it went to court." Judge Watkins leaned forward, his brow creasing. "So you're telling this court your name was used under oath without consent?" "Yes, Your Honor." Karen actually gasped. Donna looked like she was going to vomit. It only got worse from there. Witness after witness either backtracked or pled the fifth. 2 admitted to signing what Karen said was an HOA petition. 1 even cried, "I didn't know it was a legal document." Then came the footage. Elena played clips from her security cam's audio crystal clear, showing full sessions of her firearm safety class. Everyone was over 21.
No yelling.
No weapons fired. Just calm instruction, safety drills with rubber props, and lots of boring PowerPoints. The cherry on top? A segment from the day the Karens claimed to have heard live fire. On that very afternoon, Elena had been teaching pepper spray technique indoors with a dummy mannequin named Barry. "You're telling me," Judge Watkins asked slowly, "that this defendant was teaching self-defense with a mannequin while the plaintiffs claimed she was endangering children with firearms? The silence in that courtroom was delicious. Then came the cross-examination. Karen tried her best though. Bless her delusional heart. She doubled down, said the videos were edited, claimed Elena had threatened her dog, even called Elena's credentials questionable. But you can't bluff someone who's got federal citations in her back pocket. Our lawyer calmly passed Judge Watkins Elena's active instructor credentials, notarized curriculum standards, and emails from the local sheriff's department approving her training zone. The judge raised an eyebrow so high, I swear it nearly touched his robe. Mrs. McCarthy, he said, dead serious. You are dangerously close to contempt of court. Sit down. Karen sat. Finally, quiet for once. Then Judge Watkins delivered the gavel blow that we'll be telling our grandkids about. This court finds the sworn statement submitted by the plaintiffs to be perjurious. Furthermore, it appears Mrs. McCarthy knowingly submitted falsified documents to interfere with the legal rights of the defendant. The case is dismissed with prejudice and perjury charges will be forwarded to the district attorney's office. Boom! That courtroom didn't explode, but it felt like it did. Even the bailiff blinked in surprise. Karen turned to Donna with wide, panicked eyes. Donna? She was already halfway to the back exit. Classic. By the time we walked out, Elena hadn't even broken a sweat. She nodded politely to the court reporter, shook our lawyer's hand, and said, "Thank you. That was fun." I blinked. Fun? That was terrifying. She laughed. Babe, I used to brief at Pentagon level. This was warm-up. But it wasn't over, because the following week we got a call. Apparently, someone had been anonymously mailing HOA financial statements to the city's audit department. And guess whose name showed up on dozens of suspicious contracts? Yep, Karen McCarthy. Turns out, while she was trying to frame my wife for fake firearm threats, she'd been quietly funneling HOA funds through a community beautification fund that just so happened to pay her cousin's landscaping company who never did a single day of work. You can't make this stuff up. Karen was arrested for perjury first. Then came mail fraud. Then HOA embezzlement. Last we heard, she's awaiting trial. Donna? She's laying low, recovering from stress, according to her post on Facebook. And Elena? She got invited to speak at a national women's safety conference. Here's the part that gets me. They came at her thinking she was weak, that because she taught safety instead of combat, she'd be easy to silence. But they forgot Elena doesn't shout. She builds. Quietly, methodically. She doesn't knock down doors. She documents them, files the report, and waits until the system has no choice but to deal with the truth. And let me tell you, when that truth hits, it knocks harder than any bullet ever could. So what do you think? Was justice served? Should HOA board members face federal background checks? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe if you love seeing Karen's crash and burn in full HD justice. She broke into my garage for an ice cream machine. Yeah, you heard that right. The HOA president, in broad daylight, broke into my locked suburban garage, unplugged my ice cream machine, and tried to wheel it out like it was her birthright. What she didn't know, I had hidden cameras everywhere, and within 24 hours, she'd be in cuffs. Let me back up a sec. It started like any other suffocatingly hot Tuesday in July. You know, the kind sun's melting your brain through the windshield, and the cicadas are screaming like they're getting paid by the hour. I'd just gotten home from work, unbuttoned my collar, ready to treat myself to a vanilla cone for my pride and joy. The Taylor C713 soft serve machine I scored from a closing Dairy Queen auction. Yeah, I know. Who the hell owns an industrial ice cream machine? Me. I do. And I have no shame about it. I'd converted a corner of my garage into a little slice of frosty heaven. Chrome counter, waffle cone rack, toppings bar, the whole 9 yards. I call it the cold zone, neighbors call it weird, whatever. But that day, something felt off the second I hit the remote and my garage door creaked up. The machine wasn't humming. No soft glow from the digital screen. Just silence. I stepped inside, looked around, and my stomach dropped. There were footprints, dusty, sneaker-sized prints that didn't belong to me or anyone in my house. One of the security cameras by the ceiling was knocked sideways, dangling by its cable. The machine itself had been unplugged, and the power cord was neatly coiled like someone was planning to move it. I froze. Then I exhaled. Slow. Okay. All right, I whispered. Let's see who's dumb enough to mess with the cold zone. I bolted inside, pulled up the hidden security feed from the garage cam tucked behind an old toolbox. Grainy, but clear enough. The timestamp read 11:43 a.m., and there she was, Karen, our HOA president. Mid-50s, straw visor, cropped tennis skirt, and that same god-awful peppermint essential oil perfume she wears like armor. She struts into my garage like she owns the place, holding a clipboard in one hand and bolt cutters in the other. What the hell? The footage showed her snipping the old padlock like it was a ribbon at a grand opening, stepping over the threshold with a self-righteous little huff. Then, she walks up to the machine, runs her hand along the chrome, and mutters audibly, "This will look perfect in the clubhouse." My jaw hit the floor. Perfect in the "Are you kidding me?" I rewound, played it again. Same quote, same smug smile, same theft-in-progress attitude like she was redecorating a Sims lot. You have got to understand. This wasn't about ice cream. This was about power, control. Karen had been gunning for me ever since the last HOA meeting, when I voted against her motion to ban inflatable lawn decorations. Apparently, a single light-up penguin on my lawn last Christmas was undermining the neighborhood's property value. Give me a break. But this, breaking and entering, trying to steal my machine, she messed with the wrong guy. So there I was watching Karen on hidden camera, inside my garage, touching my damn ice cream machine like she paid for it. And the audacity, she even tried to plug it back in at one point, I kid you not, like she was giving it a little test run before kidnap. I mean, was she planning to roll it down the driveway and just pretend it wandered into her garage by accident? Oh, this? It followed me home. Give me a break. Now here's where it gets wild. She pulls out her phone and starts taking pictures. Of what? The wiring, the ceiling, the corner with the cleaning supplies. Like she's documenting evidence of I don't even know. Anotho. Then get this, she walks back outside, flips through her clipboard like she's reading off some HOA inspection checklist she made up on the spot, and mutters, Code 17C. Appliance breach. I swear I nearly choked on my own breath laughing. Appliance. But I wasn't laughing. I checked the side door security cam. 20 minutes after she broke in, she came back with a dolly. A dolly. One of those big ones you use to move fridges or vending machines. She wheeled it right up to my tailor and tried to slide it underneath. Only thing that stopped her was the floor anchor bolts I installed. That's right, I anchored that baby to the concrete. Not because I expected an HOA heist. She tried yanking it, shoved it a few times, even cursed under her breath, "Stupid machine." Before G. Now here's the twist, I could have called the cops right then. I mean, it was all there on video. Cut lock, trespassing, attempted theft, slam done. But something in me said wait. I texted my buddy Jordan's with the county sheriff's office and said, got a developing situation. Might nay. Jordan, Karen again? Me, level 10 Karen. Next morning, I get a letter in the mail, official HOA stationery, gold seal, printed in Comic Sans like a monster. The letter says I'm in violation of Community Aesthetic Ordinance 4.2b. Unapproved commercial equipment in private dwelling. Penalty? $500 fine and mandatory removal within 48 hours. Signed, Karen. I laughed so hard, my coffee came out my nose. She couldn't steal the machine, so now she was trying to fine it out of existence? Goo. So I went ahead and did what any red-blooded American would do, printed a copy of the footage, framed it, and dropped it off at the HOA office. No note, just a sticky on the glass. Thought this might help clarify the violation. 30 minutes later, my phone rings. It's Jordan again. Hey, we got a call from your HOA president. She came in reporting a stolen appliance. Claimed you stole it from the clubhouse last year. I paused. So she's filing a report on a machine that's anchored to my garage floor and has my name engraved in the side? Jordan chuckled. Yup, and she brought pictures. From your garage. Taken illegally. I said, perfect. Time to play my footage. Next thing I know, we're sitting in my driveway with 2 officers and a laptop, showing them Karen's greatest hits bolt cutters, the dolly, the muttered, "This'll look perfect" in the clubhouse line. They didn't say much at first. Just kept exchanging glances like, is this lady serious? And then I saw it across the street. Karen, watching from her porch, holding that same cursed clipboard frozen in place. One officer asked, "Do you want to press charges?" I looked over at her. Really looked. She wasn't smug anymore. Not twitchy. Not fake friendly. Just scared. Pale. Like she was watching her little HOA empire crumble in real time. I smiled. I think I'll let the footage speak for itself. Within 24 hours, Karen was booked for trespassing and attempted petty theft. The HOA board called an emergency meeting. Turns out, this wasn't her first equipment recovery. She'd lifted a pressure washer from someone's shed 2 streets over last summer and blamed it on community maintenance miscommunication. By the end of the week, she was removed as president, replaced by drumroll Mrs. Moreno, a retired schoolteacher who believes in potlucks, porch chats, and minding your own damn business. As for my ice cream machine, still humming, still anchored, and now it has a tiny engraved plaque on the side. Property of the cold zone. Karen-proof since 2025. Ever had an HOA drama escalate over something ridiculous? Tell me your wildest neighbor story in the comments, and hey, hit that subscribe button if you believe justice is best served cold.